This first episode focuses on developing your idea, the foundation for every great documentary. Before you start writing a script, you need to figure out what your documentary is actually about and shape that idea into something solid you can build on. Getting your idea clear early makes everything else easier, from writing to filming to editing. So take your time at this stage. Don't rush it, but don't get stuck in limbo either. If it helps, set yourselves small deadlines to make progress. Start getting into the habit of jotting your ideas down. Inspiration can strike anywhere, on a walk, at a cafe, or even in the middle of the night. I usually use the Notepad app on my iPhone, so I always have them handy. But use whatever works for you. A notebook, a few sticky notes, or even a whiteboard. The key is to capture those ideas before they disappear and keep them somewhere safe so you can come back to them later on. Aim to write at least 10 one-line ideas to begin with. Don't overthink them. Even if they sound vague or like rough movie titles, that's perfectly fine. You can refine them later. Quick exercise, it's time to build the list of your ideas. Write down at least 10 ideas, one short sentence each. And try to come up with them fairly quickly. Don't overthink it. Just go with whatever pops into your head. If you're feeling stuck, take a short break, maybe go for a walk and then come back with a fresh perspective. All right, let's pause the video and give it a go now. Once you've got a few, pick the one that really clicks with you, the one you feel excited about, but keep the rest. You never know when one of those ideas might spark a future project. Before I even had a script for Star Revealer, I looked through my list of ideas and noticed one that said, stories of women in the space industry. That's the one that stood out for me, and it became the seed for my film. So go ahead and do the same. Pause this video if you need to, pick one of your ideas, and when you're ready, continue on. Great, you've picked your idea. Fantastic. Now let's start fleshing it out. Open a new note or document, give your project a working title, and then start developing a tagline, a logline, and maybe a short synopsis. This is also a good time to start collecting any quick research, useful facts, names, or links right there in the same document. Let's start with your tagline. A tagline is a short, punchy sentence, just a few words that captures what your story is about and why it matters. To help find your tagline, ask yourself an important question. Why am I telling this story? And why now? That question helps you uncover your why, the deeper purpose behind your film. Once you understand that, your tagline often follows natural from it. For Star Revealer, my initial idea was simple. Stories about a woman in space. But I wanted to dig deeper. Why did I want to tell this story? Why now? I realized I've always been drawn to underdog stories, people who made huge contributions to society, but never got the recognition they deserved. I wanted to explore the idea through the lens of women in science. Through more research, I discovered the story of Cecilia Payne, the first astronomer to determine the true composition of the sun and the stars. Yet she wasn't even allowed to graduate in her home country because she was a woman. That became my focus, and my tagline grew out of it. Her resilience became a path for women to reach for the stars. Now it's your turn. Pause the video and write your tagline. Don't worry if it's not perfect, you can refine it later. When you're ready, we'll move on to the logline. logline is usually 2 or 3 sentences that sum up your whole story. A simple way to start is to think about 3 key questions. Who is the story really about? What do they want? And what's standing in their way? The logline for Star Revealer evolved over several iterations into this. This documentary tells the story of Cecilia Payne, the pioneering astronomer who discovered the true composition of the sun and the stars at a time when women were discouraged, dismissed, and often denied a place in science. From there, I expanded it into a short synopsis to help outline the script. This part is optional, but I found it really useful. So the synopsis became, in early 20th century England, Cecilia Payne dreamed of becoming an astronomer. But women weren't allowed to earn science degrees. Refusing to accept those limits, she moved to the United States, joined Harvard University, and made one of the greatest discoveries in astronomy, revealing what stars are made of. Her courage and intellect not only changed science forever, but opened the door for future generations of women in science. Now it's your turn again. Pause the video and write your logline and short synopsis. Remember, it doesn't have to be perfect right now. You'll refine it as your idea grows. You're doing well, that's fantastic. By now you should have a working title, a tagline, a logline, and maybe a short synopsis. You're almost there. Next, start thinking about tone. Is your documentary going to be a serious and science-heavy, or more emotional and personal? Thinking about the tone early helps shape your film's voice and visual style. I'll admit, when I made Star Revealer, I skipped this step. Looking back, I wish I hadn't. If I'd thought more about tone from the start, I would have made the story more emotional by asking my interviewees deeper, more personal questions about how Cecilia's story inspired them. So take a little time to think this through. Review and refine your idea as many times as you need. Try out different taglines or loglines and see which ones feel most authentic to you. It's much easier to adjust your story now than after you've written the script. Before we wrap up this lesson, it's a good idea to keep reviewing your title to make sure it still reflects your story as it evolves. Just make sure it feels relevant to where your idea is heading. For Star Revealer, my working title at this stage was The Story of Cecilia Payne, the first astronomer to discover the elements of the sun. Way too long, isn't it? I agree. But that's okay. Early on, I wasn't too fussed about making it catchy. I just wanted it to match the story direction. We'll talk more about how I eventually landed on Star Revealer later in the series. But for now, keep refining your working title as your project develops. In the next video, we'll dive into writing your documentary script, step by step. See you then.